right, we are very fortunate today. We have got a rock star, actually a local celebrity, hosts his own radio
in the house.
Mr. Brandon Jackson. Thanks for being with us, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me, man.
Yep, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So let's start rocking out this podcast, baby. All right, and kill the beat. Man, I am in control, baby. I love it.
Like it.
So, pretty cool story, man. So, Brandon and I have been reminiscing about the old days, and I used to do this show called Doomed for Success.
Yes.
It was aired on YouTube weekly, and I also did Quick Tips for Success, too, which I shot in black and white.
Yep.
I did that just for the visual effect, because I'm creative.
It was good.
But that's actually how we first met.
Yep.
He was watching the show, and then we met at a local RIA, and, dude, back then, you were just getting started.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
I don't think when I first met you, you had even done your first real estate deal. You're like, how do I get going? How does it work?
Right.
And by the time I started shooting Doom for Success, you had done your first wholesale deal.
Yep.
Made $1,000.
$1,000. Yep.
Cast $1,000 check, dude.
Yep. It was
How'd
cool.
that feel?
Oh man, it was
It's that first one.
Man, yeah, it was so cool. Just I when I got the check, I was on Doom for Success, and I showed it. Was like, man, got my first check, man. Yeah, it was really exciting. I still got that copy.
And that was from a wholesale deal?
Yeah. Wholesale, yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
At Bandit Signs.
Josh, see if you can dig
Yep.
that out of YouTube and put it on the video here. Like, put a clip of him holding it, dude.
Yeah.
Because what was that? Was that 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
Oh, that was 3 years ago. I think
3 years ago.
I think it was Doom for Success episode number 3, maybe.
You
or
even
4.
remember?
3 or 4, one of those. Yeah. So,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Good times, man.
Yeah, so the whole point of that show was to really get people thinking and change mindset.
Yeah.
That was really what we wanted, man. And then, I obviously threw some real estate stuff in there as well. But so it was 3 years ago. Back then, you had not done a deal. You finally did one wholesale deal.
Yep.
And today, you've got a nice little portfolio of properties that you had bought subject to.
Right. Yeah.
How many doors do you have right now?
I have 18 properties right
18.
now.
Nice.
18. Yeah, man. Been busy.
Yeah, and so as far as the passive income on that, like how does that match up with your income at your job?
I'm just about even, so I'm just about financial free. So I'm just trying to get a little bit more so I can.
At the age of 33.
Yes, 33.
Boom.
Just turned 33 in August. So
That's exciting.
That makes my heart dance just a little bit.
Yeah,
It does.
yeah.
'Cause that's what this show is all about, is building passive income. Right. So you could when you got started in the business, like, you didn't have a real estate background. Like, did you come from money? Like how did you get going, dude?
Nope.
I truly think that this is an inspirational story.
It is.
That people will really be interested in.
My story, really is a lot similar to yours. I was listening to one of the Invest Sell Repeat podcasts and Carlton Sheets.
Yep.
Dean Graziosi. I still have the Carlton Sheets course
too.
at home, and Dean Graziosi, all those Russ Whitley.
Yep.
I got that too.
Oh, that's old school right there.
Yeah, I got all that stuff, man. But just looking at infomercials and stuff. It happened right after I graduated from high school, so I was like 19, around 2001, 2002. That's where I really started getting into it and trying to, look for something different. I saw that infomercial and taking an ugly house and making it pretty and making all this cash. I was like, oh, that looks interesting. And I started, going out, calling people that I knew were agents. I got a cousin that's an agent, so she showed me houses, and I never bought one, but
I can remember those days.
Yeah.
The thing is, you were taking action.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the most important part.
I can remember calling up real estate agents and say, hey, I want to go see this house, and not having a clue.
Yeah.
What to do,
if it was
how
a
to
deal,
run
how to
numbers.
buy it.
Yep. I did all that, man. Just like you said, it was just taking action. I had no idea what I was doing, but I knew I needed to do something, and that's what I did. And eventually I got to the point to where I did my first deal, and I did do some stuff with a guy back in like 2006, and long story short, it was a scam. He said it was a real estate investors training program, and I had 6 houses at one time, lost all of those, got a foreclosure on my credit, and so I've went through the failure part, because a lot of people, like, I'm sure they look at you guys now and like, oh man, you guys are on top and doing this, but
Nothing but success. And
there's a story there.
Yep, there is.
You guys have, I'm sure, made plenty of mistakes, and you say it all the time on the podcast. You've made mistakes. You still make mistakes. They're just small ones now, or at least it seems like it.
Yeah, they're fewer and far between.
Right, exactly.
People still make mistakes though every day.
Yep, every day. So, but yeah, I went through all that stuff and got the foreclosure, got discouraged for a while, and was depressed. I didn't know what depression was at the time. I just knew I wanted to stay at home and in my drawers all day and not talk to anybody. So, but years later, I found out I was depressed, and a guy got me a good job. I'm working there for a few years, and then this guy, he'd be reading while we were at work, and just these nerdy books, something I would never read, but I'm like, man,
50 Shades of Grey.
yeah,
Dungeons
like
and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons, and I don't know, like, all kind of crazy stuff. But I was like, man, I got books I could read. So it was books I stopped reading once all that happened with the foreclosure.
Right.
So I dusted those books off, and
man.
I mean, within
I love it.
Man, probably
awesome.
within 2 months, I had read like 5 or 6 books, probably more than that. And I just started taking action on what I was reading. It said call a bank and see if they got ask for the REO asset manager, see if they got properties available. And I did that. They had 2 properties, and ended up calling and following up like every 2 weeks or whatever. They first said 20,000. I ended up buying it for 7,000, and had to put 10 into it, and then went and got it refinanced, and it came in at 45,000. So I walked away with 33 grand, and paid myself back. And I actually had a private investor that had gave me $3,000, and I used that to fix it up, and I gave him a 10% return and gave him his money back extra. So he was happy about it. Yeah. And I actually still use that guy today. He actually just invested 25 grand with me on this last deal I did, and doing the same thing with him.
Yep, he got his money back. He was happy.
People will tend to loan
Win-win.
you money if you pay them back.
Exactly, they will. If you're a man of your word and they see that you do everything that you say you're going to do, or do it even faster. Because I actually told him it'd be like 6 months, but once I refinanced
Most people go under.
Yeah.
I did that a couple times. Like, I could do this in 90 days.
Yeah,
that was my first one.
Yeah, you want to tell them a little bit further out.
Yeah.
So if it does happen in 90 days, they're like, "Oh man, well thanks. You want it back?" Because I was expecting, But it's worked out perfectly. I have still made mistakes, of course, but that
You'll
first
keep
deal,
making them.
we
still do.
Yeah. But that first deal, man, it was getting that $33,000 check from refinancing was like, wow, this is crazy. And I just took that, reinvested it, and got my next house off the MLS, same thing, and we paid $42 for that one. It was already rented out, and that house was bad, but it had roaches and everything in it. But we were cash flowing like $500 a month on that house.
Nice.
And after a year, told the people that had to get out. I don't remember what I said, but made up something that
bleep, bleep.
Yeah, you guys got to go. And so they left, and then we did the rehab, spent about 20 grand on it. And that house sold for, I was thinking it would go for 90, 95, but my brother, he was a realtor. So, he listed it and was like, man, this can go for 105, or we could list it at 105. I'm like, okay. So he listed it. We listed it like the end of December 2013, had an offer on it within 18 days. And it sold, and we made 40 grand on that house. And that was,
boom.
Man.
Yep.
So the $500 a month cash flow that we were getting that whole year, plus getting that 40 grand. And that was minus, the rehab costs and everything. I mean, it was just, I remember sitting at the closing with my wife, and, I've always did a lot of those get rich quick stuff when I was growing up. Yep. Have people come over to the house, look at all these videos and all kind of stuff. And, hey, man, check this out. But at the closing, when we got that check, I was like, so, babe, was it worth it? Like, was what worth it? Everything, I put you through all the get rich quick stuff and everything. She's like, it definitely was. So, that was really like, it just feels good, man, when you go through so much pain and getting those foreclosures and being depressed. And, you go through that period of thinking like, man, this stuff don't work, or it's too hard, or, I don't want to stick with it. I could just get this job and make this decent amount of money and be unhappy. No, thank you. Real estate is definitely what you need to do. It's learn, read books, educate yourself, get around other successful investors, and just get out there and crush it. Find out how you can add value to what they're doing, and you learn in the meantime while you're doing that, and just get out there and crush it, just like Gary Vee says, man.
Beautiful. That's awesome.
That is an awesome story.
It really is.
I love the fact that you had to go through so many hard things, man. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, just imagine if it was all handed to you, like, hey, here's all this success. First of all, you wouldn't appreciate it,
right?
Because you didn't have to work for it,
right?
The cool thing is, like, dude, I've got a similar story, right? James has a similar story,
right?
I think any successful entrepreneur, like, there's this thing. And I was talking with Josh about this the other day, man. Like, there's something so powerful about choosing a path, and you say, hey, I'm going to travel this path. I know I don't have any money. I know I don't have the skill set.
I don't know how to figure how I'm going to do it.
I don't know how it works,
right.
But this is the direction that I'm going. And what happens is when you start traveling a direction, you'll get hit with a bunch of shit you didn't expect.
Right.
Yeah.
James and I are feeling it right now because we're going down a specific path. We have specific goals we're working for.
Right.
New problems.
We have this huge expansion that we're working on. And guess what? Like the next day after we came up with our plan, it was boom, our title company fired us.
Wow.
Right? They're like, you guys are too big and your guys are your deals are too difficult and we just can't work with you guys. Okay, and that was gone, which was actually a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
And we kept running into obstacles like this happened and that happened and sellers were pissed and
people weren't getting notified, and we lost deals and wiring hundreds of thousands of dollars to the wrong person.
people.
Wow, that sucks.
Yep. Okay, so, but here, if you're listening to the podcast, here's what I want you to realize: it's so important to make a decision. Internally, you have to make a decision. Say, this is what I'm going to do.
Yep.
No matter what it takes.
Yep.
Then
no
travel,
excuses.
You travel that path knowing that you're going to run into obstacles. And I can tell you something about obstacles. If you keep going towards them with your eye on the goal and not the obstacle, what you'll find is they generally, they disappear. They don't exist.
Get easier.
Or you can find some easy way around them.
Yep.
Right.
I have done that over and over and over again in my career. Think about it. So James and I have a multi-million-dollar business right now. And it literally started with me on the scaffold saying, I am going to be a real estate investor, and I'm going to make a change in my life.
Right.
And from that point on, man, I didn't have any money to start with. I didn't come from a real estate background. If you look at the statistics, there's no reason why I should be sitting here.
Right.
Okay. So then you start breaking that down. Why did I? It's because I choose to show up every day.
Right.
During the great times, I love showing up. It's fun. I'd say these last 6 months have just been a blast for me personally.
Yeah.
Seeing the expansion and the growth. But I show up consistently. Good time in the bad times, guess where I'm at, dude? I'm still making phone calls.
Right.
I'm still hustling and making it happen.
Right.
So that's one thing. If you're at the point in your life where I was at one time, or where Brandon or James was, where you really want to make a change, the best thing that you could do is make a decision.
Yep.
I'm going to build my passive income.
Yep. And
I'm going to buy investment properties, even if you don't have the money to do it. I could say probably when you start building up your portfolio, you probably didn't have a huge bank account.
Right. No.
I didn't.
I didn't either.
Yep.
And yet, through the power of making a decision and then traveling it, I've built up a very massive portfolio. He's got a nice portfolio. James has got a nice portfolio. And many of those are no money down deals.
Right. Yeah.
James and I just bought a duplex, no money down.
Yeah. Yep.
Went, negotiated a seller finance deal. He didn't want any money up front.
Wow.
I think we spent $1,000 cleaning it up.
Right.
And our cash flow is $500 a month.
Wow. Already.
Yeah.
People don't believe those deals exist, man. They don't believe it's possible to get a house with no money down. It is.
Yeah,
It really is.
And I don't even feel like that guy was that motivated. Like
Yeah.
they were just getting older.
He was tired.
He was tired.
Yeah.
They just, hey, we've been doing this a long time. We got a mortgage. I almost feel like he liked us just enough and was like, kind of saw himself in us.
Right.
And wanted to do it just to help. Like, I really think most of that one was, but a lot of them, they're motivated. Like, I've got one lady, I've got most of my houses through one lady, and she keeps sending me more. And I think it's the same thing because she's got tons of money. She's old. She doesn't spend anything, and I think she sees that, she really loves my kids, and it's like, there's something there. It's like a really cool relationship.
It's the beard, isn't it?
It is, I think.
It's the power.
But I hug her. I call her all the time, check on her. I'm like, quit working all the time. Like, she's always out there painting, doing things.
Wow.
I'm like, go home.
How old is she?
She's in her 80s.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
She's old. She might even be not.
Wow.
No, she's not 90. She's probably in her 80s.
That's a go-getter right there.
Yeah, she is.
Good
Her and her
work ethic.
husband, they had like 30 or 40 houses,
Wow.
and they own them all free and clear. Her
Nice.
husband, I don't know what he used to do, but then he started building houses, and then so a lot of them, so a couple of them are ones that they had built, but most of them are just ones that they were buying over the years.
Right.
And she still has like 16 of them, and I think I've done 6 of them with her, and I still have 5 of them. I
Nice.
flipped one. yeah, I still have those and pay her every month, and she's happy, and just, hey, I've got another one coming available.
Dude, that's great.
Okay. Those relationships, man, they're so
it's
important.
Awesome. Yeah.
So I think Brandon hit on a couple of really awesome key points. First of all, is pick a direction and travel it.
So I want to piggyback off that for a second. Okay, because you were saying, pick that direction, which I agree with completely. So, but also if you want to reach that goal, the most important thing is, like, people think, okay, hey, I'm going to set a goal, I'm going to do this, and because I'm going to be an entrepreneur or work for myself, I'm going to work less. Well, if you want that goal, you need to work more. And we were talking about this before the podcast. So the last few days, Marcus and I have just been putting in a ton of work. We're here late, people bringing us in food after the hours. And we just been in here knocking stuff out, 14, 15 hours every day.
Right.
And that's not because, well, first off, we do enjoy it. We have a lot of fun in here, so that helps. But, we've been tired as hell. Cheers. I am out.
Oh, that's not good. He needs another. So is Josh.
This week, I can't vouch for him, but I know I've been dragging the last couple of days. Especially in the morning. It's like getting out of bed is just hard. I'm like, ugh. But, once I get up and going, it's like, I know where I want to go, and I know what our goals are and where we're going with this thing. Right. So it's like, once I can get up and get a little bit of coffee or something in me, I'm good to go. Stay late as I can and do everything I can to hit that goal. And that's the important part. That's the part I think most people forget about. It's like, do whatever it takes to get that.
As long as it takes.
Yeah.
Yep. There's this book, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson.
Yep.
You heard of that?
I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah. I mean, everything that you said.
The Slight Edge?
The Slight Edge, yeah.
We'll have that in the show notes, too, or underneath the video.
Man, I mean, that book is, it makes you realize, I think most people really know that stuff, but just the way he lays it out is like, just exactly what you said. No matter what, you got to show up. Because every day, you're making, even if it's 0.003%, as long as you show up every day and do something, by the end of the year, that's 100%, or whatever percent. But, as long as you're making progress every day and you're there.
Daily progress,
daily progress. Working out, same thing, is daily progress.
A lot of times, too, you feel like you're going backwards.
You do.
But you figure out eventually. It took me, I think, about 5 years after I started my business to figure this out. Even when you feel like you're going backwards, if you're showing up every day and hustling, you're still moving forward.
Yep.
Because a lot of times, and you'll notice this too with goals. You say, hey, this is my goal and this is what I really want. But then when you get close to attaining that, or you actually attain it, you have this very unsatisfied feeling of like, okay, I got that goal. It seemed huge when I was asking for it and when I was working for it. But now that I have it, it's like, oh my God, there's so much more out there that I want. And that's one thing. I think it's so important to set huge goals to work towards because, first of all, I think it motivates you more to get your ass out of bed.
Yeah.
It's the biggest problem with entrepreneurs is they don't ask for enough out of themselves, out of the people that they work for. And the worst feeling in the world is obtaining a goal and then being disappointed.
Right.
Well, I think you also have to set small goals for yourself, so
like
that
daily,
so that they are achievable soon enough. Because some people, if you set it too big, then maybe that's a year or two away. If you can't get there soon enough, or you can't reach some sort of success, like people give up sometimes. So even if it's daily or a monthly or weekly or goal, set smaller goals first. And then also set bigger goals too. So it could even be one big goal but broken into sections.
Yeah,
like, hey, like we've got a whole board of products and things over here. So we've got, we got them all numbered out, right? 0 to.
I think we started at -2 and went up from there.
Yeah. So, but it's like, we just finished one, so we're moving on to the next one.
Right.
So obviously our big goal is to get all of them done, but we're breaking them down into smaller sections. So it's like, not like, man, this is going to take forever.
Right.
Oh, hey, we got one done just this week.
You can see progress.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
I think that's important.
Yep.
Another interesting point that you made that I think is very important, and I immediately started noticing a change in my life when I started doing this, and that's picking up a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing that you will consistently find with successful people is they read constantly.
Yep.
So I know some people, there's different ways to do it. Like my dad, he'll pick up like 5 books at a time and start reading.
Yeah, I can't do that.
For me, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
I've got to start with a book, finish it, go to the next one.
Yep.
But it's my goal personally to read a book a week.
Right.
So that in a year's time, I've read 52 books.
Yep.
And you'll find that the people that make the most income and the high earners
I've read the most.
have always read the most.
Yep, that's so true.
So if you only want to make $30K a year, you
average one book a year.
Right.
You could
It's less than one.
You could pick up one book a year and not finish it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I would say if you're watching this and you want to increase your income, the first thing you can do is pick up a book and just don't stop reading.
Yep. Or audiobooks too. I love audiobooks.
Yep.
It's the same.
Well,
While
Okay.
you're driving to work.
So let me
take that time.
Let me clarify. When I say read a book, 100% of my books are audiobooks.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys know about this, but I have extreme dyslexia. So like when I try to read words, like you'll notice this if you spend a lot of time with me, like it's like numbers gets flipped around and it's weird visually for me.
I don't notice that, but I can tell like you have a hard time reading when you read.
I know. It makes me feel like
I didn't
I'm
think
in
it was
fifth grade.
dyslexia. I don't feel like it comes out that way, but yeah.
All of my books that I read are audiobooks. Now, a lot of times I do get the hard copy, and I'll listen to it simultaneously. It's not that I can't read. It's like things get crossed.
Why do you do
I'm
that?
going to start doing that. My problem
because it bothers me, first of all, and I feel like it's something that's holding me back.
Okay.
I feel like if I can look at it and visually do it and hear it simultaneously,
I got you.
First of all, I'm getting it from two different sources.
Right.
I'm getting a visual and an audio.
Right.
And I am like thinking it too.
Right.
So that's really like three different like things, and I think it gets into your subconscious easier.
I have a hard time sitting down and reading them. Like I can, and I go through like days where I can do it good, or but then it always falls off. I love audiobooks, but my thing with audio is it's easy to listen to it, but I always feel like somehow I'm distracted somewhere else. Like I'm doing it while I'm driving, which is fine, but sometimes I don't take it in enough, or I can't do certain things to bring it all in.
Yep.
Or like I'm at home, or like even when I'm like listening to it, like my mind's wandering a lot more than if I just sit and read it, because I physically have to concentrate. If I don't concentrate, I won't actually read it.
Right.
So like I like that point where you said like listening and reading, or at least just following along, so that you're like taking it in, but you're still staying concentrated.
Yeah, it's a lot more concentration than just listening to it.
Yeah,
because
I like the audio because then I can like speed it up and I can get through it faster.
Yep.
I can't read as fast as I like to listen to it.
Right.
So I mean, I could definitely follow it, and I'm taking it in. But then I also like I do a lot of the Kindle ones, and then I can highlight stuff and bookmark, which I can't do that as easy when I'm listening to it, because then I have to like type it out and keep replaying every 15 seconds.
Right.
So. But the thing, too, is, we keep talking about this, and I love it, is the no excuses. Mm-hmm. So you have I don't want to call it disability, but you have a challenge there.
Yeah.
And, no matter what your challenge is, like, figure out a solution. So one of our students, same thing with him. Like, he, had a stroke, and he, I don't want to say he learns slower, but like he has a harder time. It takes a little longer to process.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
And so
very,
with that,
very sharp individual.
Yeah, very sharp. He's very smart. He's done deals. Yep. He's had a lot of money in the past, but he had a stroke, and it's just a little harder for him to do things. Right. So it's like, just figure out what it is that your issue. I don't want to say an issue, but like whatever your fault is,
whatever obstacle you have to overcome.
Yep.
Find that out and just figure out a way to get around it. I mean, you see these people with these videos, and they're like, no legs, no arms, doing gymnastics,
stuttering
or something
real
stupid.
bad. Yep.
And it's like, how in the world do they do that? And it's like, what? Hey, they didn't give up.
Right.
They kept trying, and they didn't let that obstacle get in their way.
Yep. It's one slogan that I've always heard, and I always tell people this: you can either have excuses or you can have results, but you can't have both.
Exactly.
And I mean, that is really putting it out there, plain and simple.
Yep.
What if people just live their life by that one rule?
Everybody would be successful.
Isn't that's crazy?
It's really
such
that
an
simple.
easy rule, and
it's easy. No, it's like any other success principle. It's easy to sit here and talk about it.
Yeah.
It's easy for me to sit here and say, listen, if you just go towards your obstacles, they disappear, or you can find a way around them every time.
Right.
But put that into flesh and blood and into your daily life. What you'll find is there are multiple things a day that happen to you that either change your course because you think you can't get past it.
Yep.
you're uncomfortable. There's some sort of pain.
I see that with sales team, like on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So so what do we do about that? Well, we started doing weekly trainings to, how do we overcome obstacles, like objections? How do we overcome objections? Because I'm telling you, if you want to start this business, you're going to have to figure out how to overcome objections.
Yeah, definitely.
Nobody's going to want to sell you their house at 20 cents on the dollar, right?
Nope.
Nobody's going to come want to buy your house. Like there's so many things that applies to. Yep. And so I did that within the first week.
We had so many results.
After the first training that we did with just some very basic, simple, principles.
Right.
Dude, we saw sales increase. We saw our communication with property management, investors, like everything like went through the roof after one single training.
Wow.
Yeah, it was so powerful. So, like Marcus and I, we spend a lot of money on education all the time, and we just got to the point where it was like, here we are educating ourselves, and we're trying to relay that to them, or somehow, I think there was times where it was like we don't want them to know everything, but I think
that competitive mindset.
Yeah.
We don't want people to know what we do. This was a few years ago.
Yeah. And then so we got to the point where it was like, okay, well, hey, instead of us just studying this on our own, like we were just going to study it as a whole company, and then everybody's growing every single week, and it's just so much more powerful because we're all learning it together.
Right.
So whatever it is that we're working on, or if there's a specific issue in the company, if we have training for that, then we're going to have the training. And like, so most of them have been Grant Cardone, like, whoever we buy courses from, we're going to utilize those. And it may not be real estate specific, but we use it, we learn together, we grow together, and at the end of the day, we all profit
from
it.
It's been powerful.
It's been
really
so
good.
Yeah.
So you guys are doing the Cardone U?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
That's, man.
One thing I love about business is you can take all of these cool principles that we learn in business, and you can literally apply it to any aspect of your life.
True.
You can.
And honestly, I think that's really powerful for people that work with us, for employees, for investors, for people like Brandon who brings us deals. We want to teach you, and we want to show you how to be successful.
Right.
And really what it comes down to is a mindset. And again, as soon as I say that, if you're listening to this on the podcast, you're like, oh yeah, it is mindset. But on your day to day, and your thoughts and your actions, what does that look like on a day to day basis? I bet you it's completely different than what your persona is or what you want people to think.
Yep.
Because like those negative thoughts creep in easily, dude.
Oh,
and anybody sitting here that's been successful, like I still struggle with that, with negative thoughts. I still struggle with fear and doubt.
But it's learning to catch those things too. Like there's all the time, like sometimes I'll be on Facebook and I'll be screwing around and I'll go, oh, dude, I just close it out because I have trained my mind like that's wasted time. Yep. Because it's so easy to see one video and it's like, oh, hey, look at this other one and this one. Oh, so-and-so is doing this. Well, what about this? But it is learning how to catch those things. That's the hard part.
That's step number one.
Yeah.
Catching it.
Yep.
Once you can catch it, then
it's easy to turn it off.
Yeah.
Yep. But the important thing too is getting with mentors or coaches or people that are in a higher position than you or where you want to be, because they've been through that and they can say, hey, look, well, maybe this is your problem.
Yep.
And because I still pay for people I always have somebody constantly that's doing way better than me that I'm paying for their coaching or for just their input, their knowledge.
Right.
So that's why I think a lot of people come to us too. And so like if people are looking to partner with us, like we're always growing. Like it's not like we're just, hey, we're here. We're not always extending our education. We always are.
Right.
You guys think that we cost a lot. The ones that we pay for are way more than what we charge.
Yep. Right. Guarantee you.
Yeah, but they're also 100 million, people.
Yeah.
These people are trying to make $200,000 a year.
Right.
That's a whole different education than 100 million.
I can definitely tell you, man, a mentor makes so much of a difference.
It does.
Just because within this it's been last July when I actually met my mentor. And he's the one that put me up on game about subject to and contract for deeds and all that stuff. And literally since then, I think when I met him, I had 5 properties, 5 or 6, something like that. But to go from that to, this is a year and a half later, and now I got almost 20 properties. I mean, that shows you that when you got somebody that you can talk to and they'll consult with you and all that. I mean, that's why, like, guys, if you are looking for a mentor, need somebody to help, give 5 Star a call, because, I mean, it makes so much of a difference. Instead of you having to go through all these struggles and not knowing what to do, I mean, these guys have years of experience, and they can help you bypass all the
shortens your
headaches.
time frame.
Yeah,
What it does.
Yeah,
That's what I tell everybody. Anybody could go figure this business out.
Yeah, it's going to take a long time.
How much time do you want to spend doing
Right.
that?
Right.
Like we're all
Yeah,
smart.
you can pay
individuals.
now or you can pay in time.
Exactly.
And your time is a lot more valuable than the price.
Yep. And how long have you guys been?
10 years.
10 years.
8
So,
years.
10. I mean, okay, so you can either get help from somebody that's got 10 years or 9 years, basically.
Yeah, we'll split the difference.
Yeah, 9 years of experience in the business, or you can get out there and do it yourself and take another 10 years to try to figure it out.
Or we could combine it. That'd be 18 years.
Right. So, I mean, which one makes sense? Spend the money now so you can make money faster, or take time?
And Marcus and I both have I don't want to say a different approach, but we got into this
We
different.
totally do. We have completely different investing styles.
Well, I meant like getting into so like he got invested by he got started by spending his money.
Yeah.
So he spent $50,000. He got to it a lot quicker than me. I didn't spend any money up front. It took me years before I started spending. Maybe I'd do a little $97 course here and there,
Right.
which I never completed. I never I listened to it, watched it. It's like the bullshit that you see, But I would do those, and then it wasn't until probably the last 5 years that I really started stepping it up, spending $10,000, going places, seeing mentors, getting personal people, doing masterminds, and surrounding myself with people that are making a lot more than me.
What happened? Why did you start doing that? Why did you go from?
So one of my guys, I'm still friends with him. He was one of my mentors, but he was like, "Hey, look, we're having this event. Come out to it. It'll be powerful. It'll change things." And this guy's made millions.
Right.
And so I went out to it, and that was what got me hooked. It was like, oh, cool, this. And luckily they didn't sell me anything on that one.
Yeah.
But ever since then, it's like when I see people that I want to be like, or that I like what they're doing. The thing is you want to be with those people or around those people, you're going to have to pay for it.
Yep.
It's not, they don't, not in a bad way. They don't want to be with you, but they
don't want you wasting their time.
Yeah, they don't want you wasting their
Yeah.
time. They're trying to be around people who are doing better than them.
Right.
So their time is very valuable. Right. So that's with us. It's
And
not
it shows that you're serious if you're willing to invest.
It definitely
in yourself.
does.
Yeah.
Because people come in, they'll waste your time, and then they'll never do a deal.
Exactly.
And it's like all the time up front. That's where the most education or where the most value is at the beginning. It's not like as you go later, because you start learning stuff later.
Yep.
So I think like I said, I still pay all the time for stuff, all the time, and I'll never stop that.
Yep. I just bought a course. About 3 weeks ago, a month ago. It's like $2,000. Just different things about real estate and wholesaling, and to me, I know it. They say it takes money to make money, and sometimes it does. It's not always true, because you can buy a house without money and make money on it.
You've got to invest time, though.
Yeah, it's either time or money, really.
And you got to have the education. So there's, one way or another, you're going to pay.
Yeah, exactly,
You know?
exactly. So, but yeah, you're right. You definitely got to constantly educate yourself, man. And I hate one thing I do. Like I've actually personally purchased probably 30 to 40 Rich Dad Poor Dad books. And I always talk to people, like when I start having a conversation with some people, it kind of goes into life, and then what are you doing? And everybody always talks about money and their job and stuff. So I always go to Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, but usually Rich Dad Poor Dad. And hey man, you got to read this book. I hate trying to help people and have them educate themselves. And you ask them a week or two later, hey, did you read that book? No, not yet. They're gonna have excuses
like that
or
right
results.
Now,
man.
a good friend of mine, we used to work together. He's doing a union job, and he keeps saying stuff to me, and I'm like, dude, you'd be really good at this, and he really would.
Yeah.
But it's like he was getting ready to have a 10-day break. I think he had some paid time off or something. And I kept saying, hey, read. I'm going to give you a list of books. Read these books, And it was like, oh, dude, I'm busy today. Okay, I'll get to them tomorrow.
Excuses.
Hey, did you get around to getting
Excuses.
those?
Yep.
No, man. The kids had sports and stuff. Okay,
Excuses.
Hey, did you get those? And I just quit asking
Yeah.
him. But yeah, he never got around. I'm sure he's already back at work now, and I'm pretty sure he never bought the books I told him.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
He'll be trapped in that vicious cycle
Yeah.
until he makes a
Yeah,
mental
he's
decision.
not ready. Yep.
And so I've learned to quit. Like I'll still give a little bit of information out, but it's like I try not to spend too much time with people talking, answering their questions or anything like that. I know you give books out a lot.
I think
honestly, you used to.
This is a very interesting thing because this is like an evolution that's happened with every single one of us. Because when you get into the game, man, you're like, dude, I want people to be successful.
Yeah.
I want people to experience what I'm doing.
Feel
man.
what I'm feeling.
Oh my God, it's amazing. Hey, here's a book.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, but if they're not ready for it, same thing with me. I used to buy tons of books and pass them out. Hey, here's The Science of Getting Rich. Here's Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yep.
And same thing, dude. Nobody would ever read them. Ever.
Yeah, they got to buy it on their own.
Now I'll give you suggestions of books to read because I want you to go spend that $20 or $30. I want you to put the time and the energy and the effort and the money into it yourself.
Right.
Because at that point, I believe you're more committed.
Right. Yeah. Yep. That makes sense.
All right, dude. We got to wrap this up. I appreciate you being in here, dude. I think this was a powerful
no,
podcast.
It definitely
Enjoyed it,
was.
man.
I hope you guys got a lot of education out of this. Hey, if you want to follow what James and I are doing, hit us up on Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter. We're on all the social media sites.
Instagram.
We're easy to get a hold of.
YouTube.
We've got a lot of cool products that we're rolling out. So if you
all
need,
the links will be below this video
If you
too.
need any help in your real estate business, from negotiating deals to how do my mailers work, what are they supposed to look like, how do I follow up with prospects? Here's a big one too. How do I make offers on deals? That's a biggie.
How do I run numbers? Where do my leads
deal?
go?
What's a deal?
I don't know
When
what a
I
deal.
got started,
What's a deal?
I would know. Like a deal could have slapped me in the face, and I would have known what it was.
Right.
So if that's you, or here's the thing too. Even if you have years of experience, we can still get you plugged in on some really cool levels and products and programs that James and I have got rolled out. So get in touch with us, guys. And again, we're going to finish it up with no excuses, right?
No excuses, baby.
Yep.
Hey, this has been a good podcast.
Yep.
I appreciate your time.
Yep, definitely. I want to say one last thing.
Okay.
Guys, please listen to this information that they are given because, I mean, I can tell you just from personal experience, really, Marcus is the one that helped get me started and motivated, like mentally. Like watching all his old videos, Doomed for Success and Quick Tips for Success.
Quick tips for success.
Yeah, I mean, this was years ago, man. So please listen. If they're giving you advice, go with it.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yep. We'll see you on the next one.
Woo.